Hey there, and welcome to Gaining Vision with Melanie Taddeo-Nxumalo. For those of you who may have seen a couple videos back, my husband's from Swaziland originally, and we've been very involved in the struggle. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with somebody who's very hands-on in the struggle, so that she can explain a little bit more about the work, what's happening, so that us across the globe can understand truly the state of Swaziland currently. Nandi, thank you so much for joining me.
The pleasure is mine.
Can you explain a little bit first about yourself?
Okay. My name is Nandi Pazamini, originally from Swaziland, but I'm based here in South Africa. In June 2021, when the struggle started, when our rising started in Swaziland, a lot of Emaswati were shot and killed by the armed forces in Swaziland. And from there, the Swazis in the diaspora decided we need to come together, amplify the voices of the people in Swaziland. We went to the union buildings, at the embassy, the Swazi embassy. We regrouped at the union buildings and went to the Swazi embassy to deliver a petition to stop the brutal killing of unarmed civilians. And then we decided we can't just stop here. We need to do something. This has already started, and this is enough. So we formed United Eswatini Diaspora. And we decided we were going to help Emaswati in Swaziland because they were being shot and killed, and those that were shot were not given medical assistance. That is how we started. Okay, I am in the humanitarian sector of the United Eswatini Diaspora. So we took some of them to hospitals in South Africa with the help of Nehawu and Kosatu in the Mpumalanga hospitals. We took them to hospitals. One of them is still in hospital since July 2021. She had third-degree burns and she's really not healing. She needs to do skin grafting. We don't have funds. The hospital is saying that they're also short of a few other things, so it's dragging, and she's emotionally affected now. But we've assisted quite a number of Emaswati with bullet wounds, some that were shot. Some are still doing hospital visits because they need operations, that they're being given dates for operations and reviews. And some of them were arrested, quite a number of them, I think about 13, it's a group of 13, because some of them were in groups that needed bailing out with the help of some of the political organizations in Swaziland, and especially Taddeo that we worked with in transporting the comrades from Swaziland into South Africa so that they get medical assistance. And those that needed bail, we needed somebody inside Swaziland, so we do a small fundraising for that particular person that has been pinpointed, send in the money, they bail him out. We still have quite a number of them inside prison who have not been tried. Some of them are kids below the age of 18. Some of them turned 18 inside prison, and it's a kind of a tragedy because they're experiencing things that they shouldn't be at their age inside prison. And so currently now it seems as if things are a bit slow in Swaziland, but Mswati is still killing people. The armed forces are still killing people, and because the Mswati took upon themselves to now fight back, some of them are fighting with stones. There's a lot of muscles, there's a lot of what we don't know where it comes from, but Mswati decides okay, it could be this person, and you become a target. It's either you get killed, you get arrested. Lately they are just not even arresting but killing. And it has become a problem. We've got an influx of people from Swaziland coming illegally into South Africa for safety, obviously. They need to be accommodated, they need to be fed, they need asylum documentation, political asylum documentation, which we've been having difficulties acquiring that because we need to do it via the South African government. And we haven't lost hope. We're still trying. We are talking to the South African government. We need to protect these people.
So in Swaziland, let's just be clear for those that may not understand what's happening with the struggle. So basically, Swazis are fighting for democracy because currently it's a kingdom country where the king and his family has taken over everything, and people in Swaziland are starving. There's no prosperity, and they're struggling, and they're being killed and brutalized.
It's an absolute monarchy where the king says he owns everything, the land, you as a human being, your land. If he decides today there's gold in your land, he does not even ask. He tells you to vacate. You don't vacate, he puts your house down. He doesn't even reallocate you. So basically what he says goes.
Okay.
And obviously in hospitals, as we speak, you cannot even get a painkiller. You get treated by a doctor or a nurse, and they they give you a prescription to go to a pharmacy and buy whatever medication that you need. And obviously, Eswatini are one of the most poorest countries. Most of them are living under $1 per day, under that. And most families are very poor. It is difficult to send a child to school. When you work at a factory, for instance, I think the basic salary is less than 1,200 rand. 1,200 Emalangen, which is equivalent to the South African rand. But education, primary school education is about 1,000 for a primary school child, and that's how much you earn as a parent. The child must have a uniform. The child must still have food, must be transported to school. This is why the Swazi people are saying enough is enough. Let us govern ourselves so that we take care of ourselves.
Yes.
Because the king has failed to do that. He lives a very luxurious life. He's got luxurious cars, he's got palaces all over. When he gets sick, so one of his family members gets sick, they bring them to South Africa to better hospitals because they have failed the health system as well. There is nothing there, and they know.
Okay, so what is it that the struggle requires? I know there's several programs working collaboratively with you guys that are on the ground in Swaziland to help, and then a lot of people are based in South Africa, helping to keep it going, and the DESRA is trying to raise funds and awareness across the globe to help make sure that Swazis get what they need through the programs. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Okay, yeah. The struggle needs everything.
Everything, okay.
Currently, it needs everything. But most critical right now, the health system is non-existent. It is so critical because we have our parents back home, and you know as you grow older, they're susceptible to diabetes, high blood pressure. They can't even get that medication. We've got kids that go to school and they come from very poor families. They can't even get food at the school. If we can get that medical assistance, food aid, and obviously, I don't know, practical things for our kids in Swaziland. We need job opportunities. But if we could get people employed, you've got graduates selling vegetables on the streets because they are not affiliated or connected to someone who's connected to the royal family. So you can't get a job because you've got no connections. Basically, we need everything. We need everything. The Swazi people need everybody's help. We need people that will amplify our voices, make our voices heard wherever.
And when I was speaking with IB yesterday, I was saying we need to share the Swazi story across the globe because a lot of people are not aware of what's happening. And I know that a lot of interventions have tried to occur, but the king is shutting it straight down, saying there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely, that's correct. We have voiced out, we've gone to the United Nations here in South Africa, they've done it in Swaziland, they've gone to so many embassies, so many organizations that we think they would help, including SADC. When the head of Troika was here in South Africa, we sent, I think, 2 or 3 petitions to which we've never received any feedback. And just last week they had an urgent Troika meeting, and questions were asked there. Some of Amaswati representatives of the Mass Democratic Movement, they were there, they put forward what is happening in Swaziland. But Mswati still says everything is good in Swaziland, everything is fine. SADC is not playing their part. In my own view, SADC is not doing enough because SADC should be doing something, even if it calls for suspending Swaziland on SADC. Because someone must do something. The countries out there must also do something and say, if this is what is happening in Swaziland, we don't want to do business with you. We don't want to do this with you. And just seclude them.
And again, it's horrible to see the death and the tragedy happening currently to all people. But most recently, there was a human rights lawyer that was murdered. And now it has been a little bit more in the news, and people are starting to talk about it. Do you, unfortunately, at somebody's loss of life, but do you feel that this will spur more people across the globe and those organizations to take action?
I hope so. For the first time, we had so many organizations and countries coming out and saying we stand with the people of Swaziland, we stand with the oppressed after the death of Comrade Thulani Maseko, who was brutally murdered by the regime. As much as they are trying to spin the bottle, but it was the regime. Proper intelligence was done. For whatever reason that they killed him, they obviously try and hide everything. And unfortunately, this for them, I don't think they did it right, because the death of Comrade Thulani raised so much awareness, and people started noticing and started putting it out there, and we've had a lot of support from other organizations and other countries, and we're hoping it's not going to end there with them putting out statements and saying we don't condone this, but they should give us practical solidarity. We need everyone.
Yes,
we need everyone, every country to assist Emaswati. It is bad.
And this is the thing, I wanted to definitely, thank you so much. I'm going to ask a few more questions, but this is why I wanted to bring awareness to this, because what's happening in Swaziland, it's a beautiful country, it's been peaceful for years, there's been no problem, but once the king took power into his own hands and decided that he didn't like things the way it was, he was going to take, the people are suffering, there is death, mortality, and injustice happening on a daily basis. So I'm going to ask finally, how can people learn more about how they can get involved? Is there a website? Is there social media?
We do have a website as the United Eswatini Diaspora, and on social media you've got Swaziland News, you've got Swaziland Democratic News, you've got Swato, there is Voice of the People, Breaking News 82, whatever happens, they broadcast it live, and sometimes you actually see these things happening, police shooting and killing unarmed civilians with petitions. So if anyone that's interested, they can go onto those pages, because everything is stored there from whenever this started. There's everything there. And I can give you contact numbers for the other journalists.
Wonderful. Especially
there's one of them who started putting out the voice of the Swazis out there, Swaziland News, Comrade Zweli Martin. Yes, that one actually opened our eyes, because as a Maswati, we thought everything was normal. We knew it was not right, but who do we speak to?
Right.
And he came out and said, no, I'm going to speak on behalf of the Swazis. Then we started following and saying, you know what, he's right. Actually, we are seeing this happening here, because we grew up in Swaziland.
Yes.
We came here to seek greener pastures. That is why we are here. If everything was well and good at home, we'd be at home. We also want to be at home and, you know, be part of the economy in Swaziland and support our very own. But we can't, because there's nothing there. You go home, you sit and do nothing.
And it's not safe either. You don't know what's going to happen.
Now it is not safe, but before the uprising, whether they call it an uprising, before that, there were no jobs. Our parents need to eat. Our kids need to go to school. So we all came this side to look for greener pastures, so that we can send money back home.
Right, and that's so good. And the fact that you're fighting for the struggle in the humanitarian side just shows the goodness of your heart, and I thank you for that. I encourage all of our viewers to check out those sources, do the research yourself, find out what's actually happening in Swaziland, and take a stand. Whether it's going to your parliament or the officials in charge, signing a petition, or contributing to the struggle through the programs they're providing to help with school-age children, with bail, with food, whatever it might be, healthcare. All of this is essential, and I definitely will continue the conversation. This is the first of many. Thank you so much for your time. Any final words?
Thank you very much for doing this, for amplifying the voices of the people of Swaziland. We need more people like you.
Oh, thank you
very much.
My pleasure. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share, and tune back often to see updates on the struggle in Swaziland. See you later.